I am happy to be here tonight. Even though it is a recording show, I am not able to go live on the 8th like I planned on to because my father is in the hospital. So this is what y'all get. I am going to record it and we're going to talk about some things. And I really do want you all's feedback, okay? So make sure you look at it all the way through from beginning to end. I'm not going to be before you long. We got some things to unpack, right? But before we do all that, I want you to like and share Let's Grow with Yo-Yo on Facebook. Yo-Yo7393001 on IG. Let's Grow with Yo-Yo on TikTok, and Grow with Yo-Yo on YouTube. Okay? The thing is at the bottom, the banner is at the bottom with all my handles. So let's get into your Did You Know in Black History? We're going to be talking about Alexander Miles. Now, Alexander Miles was born in 1838. He was a businessman. He's an inventor, right? Now, him and his daughter was on the elevator. You know that back in the day, they had the elevators that you open and close by yourself. Well, it just so happened that his daughter almost fell down in the shaft by trying to close an elevator door. That made his wheels start turning, and he invented the automatic elevator doors that we see today. So he has that patent. He has the good thing, thank God for it, because I don't know if I could use all it to open and closing the elevator and up and down and all this other stuff. So he got that patent in 1887. Y'all, let's hear it up for Alexander Miles. That is your Did You Know in Black History. Now, we are going to talk about a few things. One, bravo, Georgia, bravo. Bravo, Georgia, bravo. I am grateful that Senator Warnock will keep his Senate seat. But I do want to talk about the fact that Herschel Walker came in 2 points or 4 points behind Raphael Warnock in Georgia for this Senate seat. It should not have been that close of a race. It should not have been. It shouldn't have been. One, let's think about this. Herschel Walker, well, he was a good football player. I can't take that from him. But he was an abuser. Let me break it down to this better way. Everything that the right Republicans or skin tone people would say that a black man is to his family: a deserter, an abuser, doesn't take care of his children. He was all those things that they hate about black people, but yet they endorsed him because they figured just because he had the same skin color that we would vote for him. Now, I don't know. Some of us did, and I'm a firm believer that all skin folks ain't kin folks, if you know what I mean. But nevertheless, Georgia came through. Georgia pulled it off. We have Senator Raphael Warnock still in the Senate to do good things for Georgia. Of course, we all know that Trump's organization was convicted or found guilty on 17 counts. And that's a win. A win is a win, right? A lot of things are happening and transpiring. You know, that is one step closer to um the New York Attorney General Letitia James getting what she needs to do to get him and his cohorts um on fraud and stuff. It's also a step for the DOJ in their investigation of him. The January 6th committee is coming out. They trying to say do subpoenas or whatever, criminal charges. It may not be for one specific person, but there will be some criminal charges brought forth. And it brings me back to some things that you think about, and as I reminisce on the past month or so, with the past election November 8th and this runoff in December. A lot of people agree with former President twice impeached Trump. And I just think racism has always been here, right? Racism has always been in this country. It has been embedded into this country. And they can say Black people, Asian people, not Asian, Hispanic, indigenous people are racist. But you can't be a racist because you're the oppressed people. You can have some prejudices, but you can't be a racist. And my question is going to be that I want to know to all of these, all my Caucasian people, all my Latinos, my indigenous, Asian, Black, all of you people. I have been reading on the history of America and how Jim Crow came about. And then I watched this show called The Crown, right? I never watched the show. After Queen Elizabeth's death, I was like, let me sit down and watch, even though they're saying that some of the stuff was not true, but a lot of the stuff that was in there is true. And when they left England, Europe, and came to the Americas, there was already people here. And so what makes the white skin tone people think that they are superior to everyone? When I read this book, White Rage, and it was another book, and I don't have it up here with me. Gosh, I read these books, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, why is it that because you're not now? Let me back up before I say that. Not only did they not like dark skinned people, they had colorism within the white race, right? If you were a redhead or a brunette and you didn't have blonde hair and blue eyes, there was colorism. And I did that series a while ago called about colorism. But I always wanted to see how they feel that they are superior and they can tell you what you can and cannot do. And then they always quote in the scripture. And they got me to think again. As I read my Bible and I pray and I have my relationship with the Lord. And I know he gets sick of me because I get sick of me asking questions sometimes too. However, I need clarification. If you left a place of a monarchy and you didn't want to deal with their religion, right? You come over to this country and you establish that people have freedom of religion. And because I don't believe what you believe, that should not be held accountable. It should not be held against me. Let me just say that. And as we go into like the elections, back to these elections. You have these right wing extremists, white nationalists, white supremacist people that are out here telling you that your way is wrong. But if I'm not, we are all created in God's image, right? We are all created in God's image. We, as human beings, have no heaven or hell to put nobody in. What makes your Catholic religion right? What makes your Baptist religion right? What makes your Pentecostal religion right? Right? These are all just religions. They are not that relationship with Christ. So you come back here and you get all these candidates that you want because you don't want LGBTQIAs to have same-sex marriages, even though that law was passed, not only just for same-sex marriages, however, it is also protecting interracial relationships. That's another thing. We're going to get on that, but that's another thing. So, you know, as these Southern evangelicals or these Christian nationalists saying that if you aren't this way, right, you're wrong, you're going to hell, basically. But yet there was a 250 page dossier that came out that had names of Catholic priests on it that was molesting children. But it's okay to molest children, right? Boys. Again, that's homosexual, homophilia, right? Homophobics. That's pedophilia. That's homosexuality. If you have men molesting boys, if you have men molesting female little girls, pedophilia, right? But they would rather deal with that and say it's okay, or overlook that and just deal with one sin. And not only that, you have these right-wing people that are trying to take certain things, i.e., the governor of Virginia. Yes, the state I lived in, the state I graduated high school from. The governor gets on there and says that he is taking out important Black people out of the school's curriculum. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Carver, taking out Black people altogether, and then saying that indigenous people are the first immigrants. They weren't immigrants. Y'all were immigrants. We were immigrants, right? Well, I was born here, but my ancestors were immigrants. So, again, what makes your race the superior race? What in your mind makes you think it doesn't make sense to me, correct? Not only that, but then you have the Supreme Court that is going to hear a case, that is hearing a case about a wedding planner or a graphic person not wanting to service a same-sex marriage. But the only thing I can say about that, that's her business, but she should advertise that. So people of the same sex that are married won't go to her establishment or go to her website and try to book events or have a photography thing done, whatever. That's one. They are looking at that. Then they are going to be looking at what is that case? And I just went blank. My God in heaven. Anyway, so our rights as American people are starting to be under attack. Why? Because you have people that were put in office that believe that Black people, Native American people, Hispanic people should not have rights. Then we had a female that was at the January 6th insurrection, lives in North Carolina, puts out a post saying that there was a drag show at a power plant and white supremacists go and shoot up the power plant. Now, thousands of people in North Carolina are without power. Why is there so much hate in this country? Why? Why is it so much where people cannot just say, we can disagree, but I'm gonna respect you? You know what I mean? You know, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to. I may not like what you do. That don't mean I ain't got to be around you. I can stay in my little bubble. You stay in your little bubble. As long as you ain't bothering me and I ain't bothering you, what? So be it, right? Why can't we do that in America? Then, affirmative action is coming up. We already know Clarence Thomas wants to get rid of affirmative action because he said it shouldn't be a place and everybody should have equal rights. However, affirmative action was put in place, one, for white women. But it also helped African American, Hispanic, Asian people get a equal playing field with jobs, colleges, and everything. So that was heard, and that we'll get the ruling on that sometime next year. America, I want you all to understand something. We are in a fight for our lives. Black people. Let's look at Herschel Walker for a second. After he lost, them people talk. Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, all of them talked about him, said he was the wrong candidate, but they endorsed him because they thought just because he was Black, we would vote for him. Let me tell y'all something. If we don't stick together and pull each other up, they're going to continue doing the things they did when they put Herschel Walker up there against Raphael Warnock. And I heard my father and I was watching MSNBC yesterday, and I forgot what representative said that he would rather vote for Herschel Walker than Raphael Warnock because he doesn't believe that Raphael Warnock is the right person for the job. Herschel Walker wasn't the right person for the job, right? He was talking about vampires and werewolves. Now listen, I love Twilight. I love a good vampire movie like the next of them. I really do. But I don't want to be no werewolf and I don't want to be a vampire. Okay? We have to start thinking, Black people, Hispanic, people of color. We have to start thinking for ourselves and standing for each other and making sure that we don't get put in situations like with Herschel Walker. Don't do that. Don't do that. We are better than that. We are. And I believe that, I know they're trying to oppress us because, come on, y'all. We built this country. Not just Native Americans, Hispanics, Blacks built this country. Now, I can't take away anything from the white people that did their thing, but you can't say that the backs of my ancestors, the Native Americans and Hispanics, did not. This country was built on them. Look at all the people I did for Did You Know in Black History. All these people that contributed to this country, that they are trying to erase our history because they don't want you to know that this is what we did. This is what we did. This man, Alexander Miles, did the electric elevator door, the doors for the elevator. We wouldn't have that if it wasn't for him, and he got the patent. Think of this. Think of all of these things. There's a lot, tons, and I'm gonna do that next week. Tons of Black-owned sneaker companies. I did that already. Pocketbooks companies. I did that. Clothing companies. Restaurants. Let me tell you something. I found a whole slew of them in Texas, and we are going to be going to them, and I'm going to do a vlog about it. There's a Black-owned winery here in Texas. There's a Black-owned winery in Virginia. There's a few in Georgia. There's a Black-owned. I know y'all don't, the people that don't drink or whatever, but there's a Black-owned distillery you might want to go to. There's a Black-owned, I know in Houston, Texas, they have like things like for excursions. They have ATVs, they have zip lining, all them things. Look at us. We'll give our money and spend $200-$300 for Michael Kors. We'll spend $200-$300 for Carnival. We'll send $200-$500. But we can't support our own people. We always want to. You don't ask Louis Vuitton for a discount for his red bottoms. You don't ask. You know what I'm saying? There's so much that we have done for this country. And I was watching a thing where Lizzo at the People's Choice Awards introduced women of color that is doing great things in our society. Iranian women, Hispanic women, Native American women, Black women, transgender women, lesbians, all of them up there, women of color. So we have to start coming together and educating ourselves, boosting ourselves. Listen, a saying I heard a long time ago, and I want to get this saying right. Something about if you want to, I'll get the saying next time because I don't want to get it wrong. It has something about reading, and I want to get the saying right. So I'm gonna think of it, and I'm gonna come back and put it on my social media platforms. Get a book. I tell my daughter all the time, look it up. You asking me, go look it up. And then tell me about it. This right here, this phone, that phone, Google. Do your thing, people. But we have to start coming together and stop thinking just because they taught us down that we can't build ourselves back up. And we can overcome. Look at Georgia. And they have so much voter suppression in that state. Gosh, it's ridiculous in that state. Heck, it's ridiculous here in Texas. Yeah, but it's so much that we can do if we could just come together and really put our best foot forward. So that is the show for tonight. I am going to be back next week. I'm going to be revamped, ready to go, prayerfully. We have to see what's going to happen with my daddy. I may be doing a show from the hospital. But listen, I love you all. I thank you all for listening. I thank you all for joining me. You all have you a blessed and wonderful night. I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.